Hey guys, and welcome to this video on DC's upcoming Swamp Thing movie. So before we get started, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, stay up to date with all the movie news we have going on around here, guys. So guys, we're going to be looking at this Screen Rant article here. DC Universe movie director teases major change to character's comic origin. James Mangold, who is set to direct the Swamp Thing movie, teases that the DC Universe version will change the character's origin story. So, the upcoming Swamp Thing movie from DC Studios will apparently tinker with the character's DC Comics origin, reveals the director. With the DCEU reaching its end this year, DC Studios is busy working on several new films and TV shows for the upcoming DC Universe from James Gunn and Peter Safran. One of the Chapter 1 projects that was revealed for Gods and Monsters was Swamp Thing, with James Mangold attached to direct. So yeah, for those of you who don't know, Gods and Monsters is phase 1 of the rebooted DC universe that will be coming up in 2025, with the first movie out the gate, which is Superman Legacy, continuing on with other DC movies that have been announced for the first phase, and the first phase is called Gods and Monsters. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to this Swamp Thing movie. I remember seeing the Swamp Thing series, I believe it was on CW, and I thought it was really good, and it was such a shame that it was cancelled after one season. But I'm really excited to see Swamp Thing come to the big screen, because I think, you can make something really interesting with the horror element to Swamp Thing. So, while there is no cast attached, Mangold recently talked about the major fandom for the Swamp Thing character and what viewers can expect from a live-action movie. During the recent appearance of the Happy, Sad, Confused podcast, Mangold spoke about what he would be tinkering with the Swamp Thing's origin story. Without giving away too many spoilers, Mangold teased what he is excited to explore with Swamp Thing, sharing the following about the DC horror movie. So, he goes on to say, quote, "But to me, the idea of making almost a kind of noir mystery horror film about a guy who wakes up and he's this thing and he's there. This amnesic quality of like, how did I get here and who did this to me?" So I'm envisioning a kind of horror noir film following a creature that can't be seen trying to piece together from fragments of memory what happened and who did it. So yeah, that gives us a bit of information here about the obviously the upcoming Swamp Thing movie. So it's going to be a kind of a mystery film where he's going to wake up as this kind of Swamp Thing monster, and then I'm guessing as the film kind of progresses, parts of his memory start to come back together, and he realizes how he managed to change into the Swamp Thing. What happened, who did it, and all this kind of thing. So it's kind of a mystery that unravels itself as the movie continues, which sounds quite interesting. So, changing Swamp Thing's origin works better than other DC heroes. While Swamp Thing definitely has a cult following, it's worth taking into account the supernatural creature is still not regarded as one of DC's A-list characters, and is fairly obscure to the general audience. Despite having had a few previous live-action projects, including the cancelled Swamp Thing TV show, which I claim is very, very underrated, guys. If you haven't seen the Swamp Thing show, go and watch it. I think it's really, really good. He is still someone that has yet to get on the larger spectrum of exposure in the comic book medium genre. Making drastic changes to the major icons like Superman and Batman would be more noticeable given their global popularity. So yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? That's the thing, but the main players in DC and Marvel, a lot of fans know about them, they know their origins and where they come from, and the history of the characters. So trying to change it and trying to change up these characters to keep them fresh, but also keeping their origins intact at the same time can be a little bit tricky. But when it comes to sort of B-list characters that the main general going audience don't really know, they're not attached to, they don't really know the history, then it gives you a bit more lenience to change around their backstory, change their origins, because a lot of people wouldn't even know. Only the hardcore comic book fans would really know about Swamp Thing's origins and if it's been changed. So in Swamp Thing's case, whatever alterations Mangold is doing to the DC Studios movie will not have as a big of a reaction outside of the hardcore fan base, which is what I was just saying, guys. So even though Alec Holland's comic origin doesn't involve him getting amnesia or trying to figure out his past, there may be a reason or two why Mangold is doing this for his film that could pan out to be a welcome change. That's the thing, guys. You've got to remember as well, when you're converting something from a book into a movie, they're different mediums and people consume a book differently to the way they consume a movie. So an origin story in a book or a graphic novel may not work in a live action format. So we have to remember that and take that on board as well. So a change from the book origins over to the big screen origins could be a welcome thing, and it could be what's needed to make the material stand out on the screen. So just keep that in mind, guys. Until they actually start shooting Swamp Thing, time will tell. The different film will be compared to past live action projects. To this point, DC Studios hasn't indicated exactly how long fans will have to wait for Swamp Thing movie, despite already having the filmmaker on board. It wouldn't be shocking if Swamp Thing doesn't happen for at least a few more years. Hopefully, regardless of how long that wait will be, more details about Swamp Thing will be shared by Mangold sooner rather than later. So that's the thing. Obviously, Superman Legacy is coming out in 2025, so we're not going to expect Swamp Thing, I would say, probably until 2026, maybe the second part of 2026, maybe 2027. That sounds like a long time away from now, but yeah. But I'm really looking forward to Swamp Thing. I think he's a really underrated character, and there's so much you could do with the horror noir element, like the director is saying. So jump down to the comment section, guys. Let me know what you think about this Swamp Thing movie coming out. Are you looking forward to Swamp Thing? Do you not really know about Swamp Thing? Just let me know your overall thoughts about this, and what the director said in this article. Does it make you more interested about a noir kind of horror story? And thanks for watching, and I will see you soon.